Africa, a continent of beauty, history, and resilience. But beneath its vibrant surface lies a shadowy past, filled with tales of terror and crime. Though Africa records fewer serial killers than other continents, this is not a reflection of innocence, but of underreported crimes. South Africa alone accounts for 160 recorded serial killers, making it the hotspot of the continent. Today, we dive into the twisted minds of 8 of Africa's most notorious serial killers. Prepare for chilling stories of evil, mystery, and justice. Our journey begins in Morocco with a man whose crimes shocked the early 20th century. Haj Mohammed Mesfewi was a cobbler with a sinister secret. By day, he repaired shoes. By night, he lured women into his home, drugging them before robbing and murdering them. Mesfewi's victims, over 36 women, were buried beneath his shop and private residence. These weren't just random killings. His victims were often desperate women seeking financial help, making his betrayal even more horrifying. In 1906, after his crimes were exposed, Mesfewi was sentenced to crucifixion. But international intervention altered his punishment. In a chilling twist, he was buried alive, a sentence as shocking as his crimes. From Morocco, we move to 1920s Egypt, where 2 sisters, Raya and Sakina, built a reputation as 2 of the most cold-hearted killers in history. Together with their husbands, the sisters targeted wealthy women in bustling marketplaces. Posing as friendly acquaintances, they would lure their victims to rented rooms where they were robbed, suffocated, and buried. When authorities finally uncovered the truth, they discovered a shocking scene: multiple bodies hidden beneath the sisters' properties. Raya and Sakina were the first women in modern Egypt to face public execution. Their story continues to haunt Alexandria, where whispers of their cruelty are still told. In the 1950s, the small South African township of Atteridgeville was gripped by fear. Elias Zidovhutsi, nicknamed Pangaman, embarked on a murderous spree targeting white residents in the apartheid era. Armed with a machete, he brutally killed 16 people. His victims were attacked in dark alleys, where Zidovhutsi would disappear without a trace. The brutality of his methods made him infamous, but his choice of victims also carried political implications in an era of deep racial division. Captured in 1960, Zidovhutsi was swiftly executed. However, his story remains a chilling reminder of how violence can intersect with social and political unrest. Moses Sithole, South Africa's ABC killer, ranks among the world's most prolific murderers. Between 1994 and 1995, Sithole lured women with fake job offers. Under the guise of an interview, he led them to isolated areas where he brutally raped and strangled them. What made Sithole even more terrifying was his calculated cruelty. He often used the victim's own clothing to strangle them, leaving behind chilling, degrading messages scrawled on their bodies. In one tragic instance, Sithole left a young boy, just 2 years old, to die of hunger near his mother's body. His capture in 1995 marked the end of a reign of terror, but his sentencing to over 2,400 years in prison serves as a reminder of the unimaginable depths of human evil. Cedric Make was a killer without preference or pattern. Known as the Wemmer Pan-Killer, Make's crimes spanned less than a year in 1997, but his unpredictability confounded law enforcement. He robbed taxi drivers, attacked shop owners, and murdered couples, starting with the men and ending with the women. Investigators believed they were chasing 2 separate killers until Make's confession tied everything together. With 27 murders, 14 rapes, and 41 robberies to his name, Make now serves 1,340 years behind bars, a grim testament to his ruthlessness. Abed Lali Hadi, the Taraudant killer, preyed on society's most vulnerable. His victims were teenage boys, lured to his shack in Morocco in 2001. Hadi's heinous crimes involved suffocating and assaulting the boys before burying them beneath his workplace. When captured in 2004, he confessed to his crimes without remorse. Sentenced to death, Hadi's name remains a chilling reminder of cruelty hiding in plain sight. Mansour al-Tourbini earned infamy not just for his murders, but for how and where he committed them. Alongside a gang of street children, al-Tourbini's crimes often took place on train rooftops, where he raped and murdered victims before tossing them off. In some cases, his victims were buried alive near the Nile River. Al-Turbini was captured and executed in 2006, but his crimes left a legacy of fear and caution for Egypt's street children. Our final story takes us to Mitchell's Plain, South Africa, where Norman Afzal Simons, a fifth-grade teacher, was implicated in the deaths of numerous young boys. Boys would vanish near train stations, later found tied, sodomized, and strangled. Although Simons was convicted of just one murder, many believe he was responsible for far more. His 35-year sentence is seen by many as a miscarriage of justice, leaving unanswered questions about the full extent of his crimes. These stories remind us of the shadows that lurk in human nature. What drives such evil? Trauma, circumstance, or something more sinister? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more dark tales from around the world. Stay safe, and remember, evil often hides in plain sight.